All right, guys, now we're going to take a look at a modeling technique that requires UV maps in an add-on called TexTools that I don't really use a whole lot, but occasionally it comes in clutch and might help you out. So let's just start by modeling something with a plane, and we're going to convert it into a subdivision mesh and try out some ideas here anyways for the design of whatever we're creating now. All right. We're going to keep it very simple for this one. And you'll see how this thing works out here in just a second. GG twice those up real quick. Maybe I should pull this one in. Symmetrize. There you go. We're going to subdivide it. Let's just check keep corners. Let's say we have something like this, right? Maybe make it a little bit more interesting. Let's do this. Like a shell like that, right? We're going to apply the subdivision now. So we get this kind of shape going. And so this is where things get rather interesting. I was thinking about squaring these out a little bit more, but maybe we just take it a little bit higher resolution instead. So we'll subdivide it again, keep corners again. All right, apply it. If we unwrap this, we press U, unwrap, do angle based. You get something like this, right? Now with the TexTools add-on, you can do something kind of interesting. You can grab a shape like this, go to Mesh UV Tools, you can generate a UV mesh. And it's going to do this. It creates this object. You can hide this one. I'll just hit H. Okay. This has a shape key on it, and it should, if you go back and forth with it on that second one there, should go back to the original shape. Okay. So you can see how that's working out. All right. Now, what do you do with this thing, right? Like, what are we getting at here? Okay. Let's create a plane. We'll stick it right here. I'm going to hit Alt Z and turn that on. And so this is what's cool about this, because modeling curved surfaces a lot of times can be very problematic, right? And we can use that shape to control or contort a different model, basically. So we can just start modeling this here. We can add loop cuts where we want, do extrusions, make all kinds of crazy stuff happen here. And it's a little bit better sometimes than maybe using like a shrink wrap. Now, sometimes it's more complicated and it's maybe not worth it, but the main thing is that we can take this and work it into that shape again, right? So we can do all kinds of modeling over here, have a lot of fun, and then work it right back out. And you'll see how this behaves in just a second. So I'm just going to do something kind of simple here, but I think it'll give you the idea of what's going on anyways. So like these two, maybe I extrude them down and I press F and fill them. We don't want to have, more than likely you won't want to have ingons and stuff like that, okay? So you're going to want to work things out into quads possibly. A little hard to see it sometimes. Let me turn that grid off real quick. Have a little bit easier of a time looking at it anyways. Maybe we add an extra one through here. We're going to eventually have to connect these together. So it is, you know, a three-dimensional piece. If I forward slash and isolate, we can kind of get in here and grab the right verts and then hit J and join them, or 2 with machine tools. Might be able to run this one forward. We can hit K and C, cut through that C, so you cut the edge there that's going down. Maybe we shift those up a little. Ooh, we cannot do that just yet, huh? Okay. I was going to try to run this one right through the middle here. And it would start going out there. I could do a loop cut here maybe, and then push this one up. This one could probably go out to the edge. We can merge by distance. And then we can just run that out like that. These little edges back here aren't going to be quite right, so we'll do another knife cut, hit K and C. Cut like that, and then we just dissolve it. Okay, and you'll see what that does. It converts that one into a quad if we dissolve it. Unfortunately, this one didn't work out, so we do another cut, K and C it. And we'll have to space this now somehow, so it's more appropriate. And we want to get a hold of that whole edge. Maybe not the top. All right, so / back out. There you go. Space these things accordingly. It's kind of like modeling on a cylinder in a way. If you're going to use the simple blend there, or simple deform and bend it. So very similar of an idea. I'm just holding Alt to jump into the top ortho view. It would not hurt to kind of match these up to that curve a little bit better. We're going to get some volume loss if we subdivide this, right? So that's the goal, to kind of maintain volume. And we still need to go across the middle. So I'm just going to extrude this here all the way out. Loop cut, I'm going to pull that back. Loop cut, pull that one back. I think that'll do fine. And so we should be able to symmetrize across, whoop, if we don't have the correct origin point. This one's origin point's going to be way over here. So we'll take this mesh here for just a moment. Let's see if we can find the center edge, if there is a center. There might be two of them. Let's see if we can find it, though. Sometimes it's really hard to see it, right? Like it might be... All right, we won't worry about that then. We'll do something a little bit different here real quick, just to kind of get it mostly correct anyways. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and add an empty. So we'll do mesh, or Shift-A, create empty, plane axis. We're just going to place it over here in this general area. It's kind of hard to see because there's two white meshes, but we'll select this one. We're going to do a mirror. We're going to use the empty that we created. We're going to bisect it. Okay. And so now, let's / just a second. We can grab that empty and probably need to unhide it too. Alt H real quick, or excuse me, /. You grab that empty now. And all we want to do is just move it on X until it matches the other side. That'd be close enough. It should work out. Shouldn't be a big deal. We can hide that one again. We don't need it. So a little confusing to model like one model on top of the other like this, but you know, it's it might be what happens anyways. So you could change like the colors of them, or use an object color here, like that little add-on perhaps. And we'll change this to just a gray. The background one, I'm going to change to like a blue, like this. And I'm going to go ahead and drop the alpha as well, so we can see things a little bit better. Okay. So we can use it like retopo almost, material or something like that. Now, if you're curious about this, this is an add-on that I created, but it's just object color in the viewport. Usually your object colors are down here. The add-on just puts it up here. That's all it does. So it's not really anything too special, but you can change it down here as well on viewport display. All right, anyways, so we got that out of the way. We select this one, and we're going to add a modifier to it. The modifier is going to be, you might get this confused, it's going to be surface deform. Okay, you pick the other object, which is the plane UV, right? And you can bind it. So now you select that one, you go back to its object data properties where the shape keys are, and you'll see the other one goes for the ride. Okay, so that's what you want to do with it, basically. That's like how it works. If I / and isolate now, you'll see it's kind of back into position. Now, of course, if we change anything with the geo here, it won't do this no more. Okay, so that's one of those things. Like, we would want to unbind it, keep working on it, and then rebind it if we have to make adjustments. You can see like the middle obviously isn't quite right. And so we could probably work that out. I'm going to skip doing all that though, and I'm just going to go ahead and come over here. You'll see if we add something like a subdivision to it, we can actually add it after the bind, so we can do that as well. If we want to just smooth things out, not a big deal, but it is in position now, and that's kind of the cool thing about it, right? So maybe we apply the mirror, we apply the surface deform, and now we could take this one here as well. We won't apply it just yet. We're going to correct that issue. Just dissolve it, Control X, turn it off in edit mode. These here need holding edges. We could have did that when it was flat. It probably would have worked better, but we should be able to just grab these and then do select loops, boundary loops, and bevel. And do that. And if we want it profile shape of 1, We could resymmetrize. Oh, we can't symmetrize. Let's do right here, Shift S, and hold Alt with machine tools and set the origin to the face. Okay. Otherwise, you got to do cursor to selected and set origin to 3D cursor or whatever. But you can see now we can do a symmetrize and it should work out pretty well. We can dissolve that edge out and we get this number going. Okay. So we can use that to model, and it works out pretty well. It's a pretty interesting technique to work things out. Now, really, there's going to be like limited, in the way I model anyways, it's kind of limited use. Now, it might be really useful for like retopology of like clothes, perhaps. Something like that could be real useful. Some of these more organic, like hard surface shapes definitely can also be useful. But you can also use the shrink wrap method where you just have the base shape originally and then shrink wrap and work on top of that. So that's usually what I end up doing, not necessarily this method. But if you ever find a use for it or a need for it, then this could definitely help you out. Okay, so you definitely can do that. And if you want to, crease things as well, I mean, there's always a possibility you can start modeling a little bit different than this, perhaps, but you can definitely go through and start creasing things as well. In this case, it didn't work there, so not that crease. You might still be able to crease other areas, though, and it might give you a little bit of a different result, perhaps, that you like. You can always modify this mesh as well. You don't have to, necessarily keep what you had. Just little slight deviations with creases look fantastic sometimes. So, I mean, you have that opportunity. On this surface, not so much because this is a little bit flatter, but on something real glossy, that might really pop out there. And if it's still not like maybe sharp enough for you, subdivision, by the way, if you increase the subdivision, it gets sharper. So it'll be more pronounced now. Otherwise, you got to use a holding edge maybe, right? So just overall, really cool kind of technique that maybe not too many people know about. And it might save you in some scenarios maybe. So delete that, symmetrize it again. You can see where this is starting to go now. I don't suspect the solidify is going to work very well on this, but you can always try running a solidify maybe beforehand. Pulling it inwards a little bit. Usually when you have concave and convex corners, it doesn't solidify well. In our case, you can see we have both, so it doesn't work very well unless you're doing very minimal amounts maybe. You can crease inner and outer as well. So maybe you can get something like that going, right? So rather interesting. You can have fun with that, play around with it, see what you can end up creating there with it. And anyways, so isolated still apparently. Trying to get a hold of that one. It's not going well. Apparently. There you go. All right. Anyways, that's what we ended up with for this video. So hope you enjoyed. Helps you out somehow, and check you out in the next one. All right. Take care.